Chanakya Niti in Real Life by Pustak Worm. Introduction. Life today moves faster than ever. We live in a world overflowing with information, choices, opinions, and pressures that constantly demand our attention. Yet in this rush, many of us find ourselves craving clarity, clarity of purpose, clarity of action, and clarity of thought. It is in this search for direction that the ancient wisdom of Acharya Chanakya finds renewed relevance. Chanakya was not merely a scholar of his time. He was a visionary strategist who understood human nature, leadership, discipline, politics, and personal conduct with remarkable depth. His teachings, famously known as Chanakya Niti, were crafted not for one era or circumstance, but for anyone who wanted to navigate life with intelligence and foresight. What makes Chanakya's principles timeless is their practicality. They are not abstract philosophies but actionable guides, designed to strengthen character, sharpen thinking, and shape success. This book, Chanakya Niti in Real Life, is an effort to reinterpret that ancient wisdom for the modern mind. Instead of presenting the teachings as mere quotes or historical lessons, it translates them into practical steps you can apply to your daily life. Whether you are handling personal goals, professional challenges, relationships, leadership roles, or self-development. Through relatable examples, clear explanations, and structured insights, each chapter connects Chanakya's principles to real-world situations. You will discover how strategic thinking can replace confusion, how discipline can strengthen your ambitions, how wise judgment can resolve conflict, and how ethical leadership can build influence. You will learn to set meaningful goals, manage time effectively, understand people better, and cultivate habits that align with your deeper values. From building resilience to creating wealth, from mastering communication to refining character, the teachings in these pages aim to elevate the way you think and act. This book is not meant to be read in a hurry. It is meant to be absorbed, reflected upon, and practiced. Each idea is a tool, simple in form, powerful in impact. If applied consistently, these tools can help you create a purposeful life rooted in clarity, wisdom, and inner strength. As you begin this journey, remember, real transformation doesn't happen in a day. It begins with a single decision: to think better, choose better, and live better. May the insights in this book guide you toward that transformation and help you build a life that reflects the wisdom within you. Preface. For centuries, the wisdom of Acharya Chanakya has guided leaders, thinkers, and ordinary individuals through the complexities of life. His teachings, simple in expression yet profound in application, offer a rare blend of practicality, discipline, foresight, and strategic clarity. In today's world, where distractions multiply and expectations rise faster than our capacity to process them, these timeless principles feel more relevant than ever. This book, Chanakya Niti in Real Life, was born out of a desire to bridge ancient wisdom with the modern challenges we navigate every day. The intention is not merely to present Chanakya's philosophy, but to translate it into actionable guidance, clear, relatable, and aligned with the realities of contemporary life. Each chapter is crafted to address essential aspects of personal growth and leadership, from discipline and time management to communication, discernment, financial wisdom, and ethical living. Whether it is understanding how to think like a strategist, setting meaningful goals, or building character rooted in integrity, the teachings shared here aim to serve as a practical manual for anyone seeking clarity, stability, and long-term success. Throughout this book, you will find timeless ideas presented in a simple, conversational style, free from unnecessary complexity, yet rich in insight. Real-life scenarios, modern interpretations, and relatable examples help you see how age-old principles can guide everyday choices. From personal discipline to leadership, from emotional resilience to strategic planning, every chapter invites you to reflect, refine, and rise. This is more than a collection of philosophical thoughts. It is a roadmap for living intentionally, a guide for those who wish to build not just success but character, not just achievement but inner strength. And most importantly, a guide for those who wish to transform their mindset so they can transform their life. May these pages encourage you to pause, think, and grow. May they inspire you to choose wisdom over impulse, clarity over confusion, and purpose over comfort. And may Chanakya's ancient insights help you discover a more empowered, disciplined, and visionary version of yourself, one decision at a time. Chapter 1. 1. The Wisdom OFCHANAKYA. FOUND8UNS Thinking Understanding the Mindset of a Wise Strategist. Understanding the mindset of a wise strategist. A wise strategist understands that what appears as a barrier to most is often a doorway to new possibilities. Instead of seeing problems as dead ends, they train their minds to reframe challenges, turning seemingly insurmountable issues into manageable tasks or even opportunities. This shift in perspective is crucial. It allows them to find solutions when others are discouraged by roadblocks. For example, imagine a business facing stiff competition. Instead of feeling defeated, a strategic thinker might see this as a chance to innovate or identify a niche the competition has overlooked. This way, obstacles become catalysts for growth and creativity, opening up pathways that aren't immediately visible to those fixated on the drawbacks. Developing this mindset involves actively questioning assumptions. When confronted with an obstacle, ask yourself what hidden opportunities it might hide. Is there a different angle? Could this barrier prompt a new approach or a better product? Sometimes, the toughest circumstances push people to think outside their usual patterns, leading to breakthroughs. For instance, many entrepreneurs found success by viewing failures as necessary stepping stones rather than setbacks. It's about shifting focus from dwelling on what's wrong to spotting what could go right with a little ingenuity. Over time, training your mind to see potential in setbacks turns ordinary thinking into strategic planning, giving you an advantage that naturally attracts opportunities. Perspective shifts also involve actively diversifying where you seek insights. Instead of limiting yourself to familiar circles or traditional sources, look into different fields, cultures, or industries. Cross-pollination of ideas creates a fertile ground for innovative breakthroughs. For example, a tech company might look to the arts for design inspiration or to psychology for understanding user behavior. This openness sparks creative solutions that others might miss because they're too caught up in conventional thinking. By consistently challenging your viewpoint and questioning what's possible in every situation, you cultivate a mindset that not only recognizes opportunities, but actively creates them out of adversity. The key lies in training yourself to see with new eyes, more curious, more open, and ready to find opportunities where others only see walls. Building a wise strategist's mindset also means developing qualities like patience, foresight, and thoughtfulness. These traits don't develop overnight. They come from intentional practice and self-awareness. Patience is crucial because real progress often takes time, and rushing can lead to overlooked details or impulsive decisions. A patient strategist views setbacks as opportunities to gather more insights, allowing their plans to evolve naturally instead of forcing outcomes. Think of a gardener planting seeds. Nurturing patience ensures that the roots grow strong and the plant becomes resilient. Similarly, patience in strategic thinking provides a solid foundation for sustainable growth. Foresight involves looking ahead, anticipating potential issues and opportunities before they arise. It's like having a mental map of future terrain, where you can plan your moves proactively rather than reactively. Cultivating foresight requires asking questions about possible future scenarios. What might go wrong? What trends could emerge? And what steps you should take today to prepare for tomorrow. Thoughtfulness, on the other hand, is about paying close attention to details, understanding people's motivations, and considering the long-term consequences of your actions. Many successful strategists practice reflective thinking regularly, asking themselves whether their current choices align with their ultimate goals. By balancing patience with foresight and thoughtfulness, you develop a mindset capable of navigating complexity with calm confidence, making decisions grounded in wisdom rather than impulsiveness. One practical way to nurture these qualities is through journaling or regular reflection. Take time to review your actions, analyze outcomes, and consider alternative paths. When you slow down and thoughtfully evaluate situations, you build mental muscle for better decision-making in the future. For example, before launching a new project, consider potential challenges, resource needs, and long-term impacts rather than rushing into execution. Adopting such deliberate habits fosters a mindset that values quality over speed, helping you stay composed amid uncertainty. Remember, a strategist's strength lies not just in their ability to act but in their capacity to pause, reflect, and act with clarity and purpose. Patience, foresight, and thoughtfulness become second nature when embedded into daily routines, setting the stage for more deliberate and effective decision-making over time. Core Principles of Chanakya Niti. Core Principles of Chanakya Niti. Living a life guided by core virtues can profoundly influence the choices we make every day. Integrity, for example, isn't just about honesty, it's about aligning your actions with your deepest values, creating trust within yourself and with others. When faced with difficult decisions, maintaining integrity ensures your actions remain consistent, even when shortcuts or dishonesty seem tempting. Discipline, on the other hand, is the muscle that keeps your virtues alive. It's what allows you to stay focused on your goals, resist temptations, and persist through challenges. Without discipline, good intentions often fade before they shape into meaningful accomplishments. Pragmatism acts as a compass, guiding us to focus on what works in real life rather than what sounds ideal in theory. It encourages critical thinking, practical solutions, and adaptability. The combination of these virtues creates a solid foundation for decision-making, empowering individuals to act confidently knowing their choices are rooted in authenticity and practicality. For example, a leader who embodies integrity, follows disciplined routines, and employs pragmatic strategies can navigate complex situations with clarity and moral strength. Such virtues don't just lead to personal growth, they also influence how others perceive and trust you, paving the way for more meaningful relationships and opportunities. Embracing these age-old qualities transforms ordinary behavior into extraordinary character. Integrity pushes you to stand by your word, discipline ensures you stick to necessary routines, and pragmatism helps you adapt when circumstances shift unexpectedly. Combining these virtues isn't just about moral righteousness. It's about creating a reliable, resilient character that inspires confidence and fosters success. Regular reflection on these principles acts as a personal compass, sharpening your judgment and guiding you toward responsible choices. Remember, virtues aren't just ideals, they are practical tools that shape your daily actions and bolster your long-term growth. Strategic planning isn't merely about mapping out short-term goals. It's about envisioning a sustainable path to success that aligns with your core values. When combined with ethical conduct, it becomes a powerful approach to achieving lasting results. This synergy ensures that your efforts are not only effective but also morally sound, fostering trust and credibility among colleagues, clients, or partners. For example, a business that carefully plans its growth while prioritizing transparency and honesty creates a reputation that supports longevity. Without ethical considerations, even the most well-crafted strategies can backfire if they harm trust or exploit others. Ethical conduct acts as a guiding star, influencing every step of strategic planning. It encourages making decisions that serve not just immediate gains but also long-term well-being, both yours and others. When you prioritize fairness, honesty, and responsibility, you build a foundation of integrity that sustains your initiatives through all kinds of challenges. Strategic planning driven by ethics essentially creates a win-win situation, where success isn't measured solely by profits or achievements, but also by the positive impact you leave behind. This approach cultivates a reputation of reliability and moral strength, attracting support from those who value principles over shortcuts. Integrating strategic planning with ethical conduct isn't a one-time effort. It requires ongoing awareness and commitment. Regularly revisiting your plans through the lens of integrity helps you course-correct when faced with dilemmas. It teaches you to ask tough questions. Are my strategies fair? Am I respecting others' rights? Do my actions promote sustainability? Success built on this framework is resilient, crafted through a process that respects moral boundaries and practical realities alike. As you grow in your pursuits, remember that lasting achievement often depends more on the character you develop than on the immediate gains you secure. Ethical planning paves the way for a reputation and legacy that stand the test of time, guiding you from ordinary results to extraordinary influence. Applying ancient wisdom in modern life. Applying ancient wisdom in modern life. Ancient wisdom offers timeless insights that can be adapted to modern-day situations, helping us navigate everyday challenges more effectively. For instance, the concept of patience from Stoic philosophy can be applied when faced with stressful circumstances at work or in personal relationships. Instead of reacting impulsively, taking a moment to breathe and reflect aligns with age-old principles of self-control and calmness. Another practical application involves the ancient practice of mindfulness, which encourages full presence in the current moment. Simply dedicating a few minutes each day to meditation or mindful breathing can reduce anxiety, improve focus, and foster better decision-making. These principles are not meant to be vague or abstract. Rather, they serve as guiding tools that, when integrated consistently into daily life, lead to more thoughtful and effective responses in challenging situations. Implementing these timeless principles might seem straightforward, but making them a regular part of everyday life often requires intentional effort. For example, journaling about your experiences and reflecting on how ancient wisdom applies can solidify the lessons. Adopting a daily routine where you pause before reacting during conflicts or setbacks helps in cultivating patience and resilience. Applying the principle of gratitude, which has roots in many ancient philosophies, can shift focus from problems to solutions, helping you remain optimistic even amid difficulties. By holding onto these principles consistently, you create a mental framework that encourages growth and stability. Simple actions like setting reminders to practice mindfulness, or keeping a gratitude journal turn abstract lessons into actionable habits, making the age-old wisdom a natural part of your daily problem-solving toolkit. History is filled with examples of how strategies rooted in ancient times can be adapted to today's complex social and business world. Leaders like Sun Tzu emphasized strategic thinking, patience, and understanding your opponent, principles that still resonate in modern negotiations and corporate tactics. Likewise, the Roman concept of virtus or virtue emphasizes integrity and moral strength, qualities that foster trust and long-term relationships in business. In today's fast-paced environments, these strategies remind us to prioritize clear communication, patience, and ethical behavior. For instance, approaching negotiations with a mindset of mutual benefit often results in stronger partnerships, much like alliances formed by ancient civilizations built on mutual respect and strategic foresight. By studying these historical strategies, you can develop a keener sense of when to push forward and when to hold back, helping you steer complex situations toward successful outcomes. Applying ancient concepts like minimalism, borrowed from monasteries or early philosophers, can help cut through clutter and focus on what truly matters in business dealings. A simplified approach, emphasizing essential tasks and core values, reduces distraction and enhances productivity. This method encourages leaders and teams to prioritize quality over quantity, creating a more meaningful and focused work environment. Similarly, the ancient Greek idea of arete, or excellence in all endeavors, urges modern professionals to strive for mastery and integrity in their craft. This can translate into taking extra time to hone skills, ensuring quality in work, or fostering authentic relationships with clients. Recognizing that some strategies are timeless allows us to navigate today's social complexities with the wisdom accumulated over centuries, turning tricks of ancient diplomacy and leadership into practical tools for modern success. Chapter 2. Goal SETTINGAND vision building defining clear and achievable goals defining clear and achievable goals. Most people have dreams and ambitions, but few turn those dreams into tangible milestones that lead somewhere concrete. That's where the idea of setting clear, well-structured goals comes in. One of the most effective ways to do this is by using the SMART framework, making goals specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. Starting with specificity helps you clarify what exactly you want to accomplish, avoiding vague ambitions that lack direction. For example, rather than saying, "I want to get healthier," a specific goal would be, "I want to lose 10 pounds in 3 months by exercising 3 times a week and eating healthier." When you set measurable goals, it becomes easier to track progress and stay motivated. Know what success looks like and keep your eyes on the target. Achievability ensures that your goals push you but are still within reach, preventing discouragement. For example, aiming to run a marathon in a month might be unrealistic if you're new to running, but aiming for a 5K in 12 weeks is achievable. Relevance keeps your goals aligned with your personal values and larger life ambitions, making it more motivating when challenges arise. Lastly, setting a clear deadline creates a sense of urgency that helps you stay committed and prioritize your efforts effectively. By combining these elements, you turn vague hopes into actionable steps that inspire progress rather than frustration. Once you understand the core principles of SMART goals, it's crucial to craft your goals thoughtfully. Write them down, visualize the end result, and remind yourself regularly of the purpose behind each target. Having a clear map makes breaking down larger ambitions into smaller, digestible pieces much easier. When goals are precisely defined, you gain clarity on specific actions needed to move forward, which reduces confusion and procrastination. It's also helpful to periodically review and adjust your goals as circumstances change or you gain new insights. Sometimes, a goal that once seemed perfect may need tweaking to stay relevant or realistic. Remember, the process is dynamic. Flexibility is key to maintaining motivation over time. Setting ambitious but practical goals is a balancing act. You want to stretch yourself but not set yourself up for failure. The more aligned your goals are with your core desires, the easier it becomes to stay committed and motivated, especially when setbacks occur. Ultimately, well-crafted SMART goals become the blueprint that guides your daily actions, turning big dreams into smaller, manageable wins that gradually build momentum toward your ultimate vision. The key to transforming goals from paper into action is understanding how to break them down into steps. Think of each goal as a mountain, and the smaller tasks as stepping stones leading upward. For example, if your goal is to start a business, your smaller steps might include conducting market research, creating a business plan, securing funding, and setting up website. Each step has its own mini-goal, a deadline, and specific actions, which together make the journey less overwhelming. As you achieve these smaller tasks, you'll gain confidence and a clearer sense of progress. It's important to prioritize these steps based on difficulty or dependencies. Some may need to be completed before others can start. Creating a timeline for each step helps maintain momentum and prevents delays. When you tackle big ambitions in bite-sized pieces, they become less intimidating and more manageable, making it easier to stay motivated on the long road. You can also celebrate small wins along the way, reinforcing positive momentum. Keep in mind that obstacles are inevitable, but breaking goals down helps you adapt and find solutions without losing sight of your overall vision. The power of vision in personal success. The power of vision in personal success. When you have a clear, vivid picture of what you want to achieve, it becomes much easier to stay committed, even when obstacles appear. A strong vision acts like a compass, guiding your actions and decisions towards your ultimate goal. It's the reason you wake up motivated and push through setbacks, because you see the bigger purpose behind your efforts. Without a compelling vision, it's easy to lose focus or get discouraged when progress slows or challenges arise. But when your mind constantly revisits your envisioned future, it keeps your energy aligned and your determination intact. Imagine a person striving to start their own business. If they have a vision that includes not only financial success, but also creating a team that inspires others and making a positive impact in their community, every step they take is energized by that purpose. Their vision creates a mental blueprint of success, enabling them to see beyond temporary failures, viewing them as necessary lessons rather than dead ends. It helps turn setbacks into stepping stones, reinforcing your perseverance. By anchoring yourself to a bigger purpose, you're less likely to give up when tasks seem mundane or setbacks feel overwhelming. To make this work, take time to craft a vivid, inspiring picture of your future. Use all your senses to imagine what it looks, sounds, and feels like to live your purpose. Write down what you see, like steps of success, the environment you want to create, or the impact you want to have. This mental image becomes your anchor, a reminder of why you're doing what you're doing. When doubts or fatigue set in, revisit this vision. It can be helpful to create vision boards or visual cues that remind you of your bigger purpose regularly. Over time, this consistent focus helps build resilience and keeps your efforts aligned with what truly matters to you. Visualization is a powerful tool that can turn your abstract dreams into tangible realities. The idea isn't just daydreaming about success, but actively imagining the specific moments where you are living your goals. When you vividly picture yourself achieving a milestone, whether it's completing a project, receiving an award, or waking up in a new home, it creates a mental map of success. This mental mapping signals your brain to focus on the steps necessary to make it happen. Over time, this process rewires your subconscious mind, boosting your confidence and reducing doubts. Effective visualization involves engaging all your senses to create a rich mental scene. For instance, if you want to excel in public speaking, close your eyes and imagine standing confidently on stage. Feel the texture of the microphone, hear the applause, see the audience's smiles, and sense your own excitement. The more detailed the scene, the more real it feels. This heightened sense of reality helps your brain accept what you're imagining as possible, which in turn boosts motivation and reduces fears. Many successful people use visualization regularly as part of their routines, often in the morning or right before bed, anchoring their mindset in positivity and possibility. To make your visualization sessions even more effective, incorporate a few simple steps. First, clearly define what you want to achieve. The more specific and detailed your goal, the easier it becomes to vividly picture it. Second, find a quiet space free of distractions where you can relax deeply. Third, close your eyes and start to visualize in detail, amplifying every sensory aspect. Finally, finish by feeling gratitude for the success already achieved and expressing confidence that it's only a matter of time before it materializes. Practicing visualization daily helps program your subconscious for success, turning dreams into plans and plans into reality. Try this simple exercise. Spend 5 minutes each morning imagining yourself navigating a typical day where everything goes according to plan. See yourself confidently handling challenges, engaging positively with others, and feeling proud of your progress. This habit sets a positive tone for the day and keeps your mind focused on your goals. With consistent practice, visualization lands your ambitions firmly in your mind, making the path toward them feel clearer and more achievable. Aligning goals with your core values. Aligning goals with your core values, understanding yourself, is the first step toward aligning your goals with your core values. Many people chase after ambitions that look impressive from the outside but feel hollow inside because they aren't rooted in who they genuinely are. Take time to reflect on what truly matters to you, your passions, your strengths, and the principles you hold dear. When your goals stem from an authentic place, pursuing them becomes more than just an activity. It transforms into a meaningful journey that resonates deeply with your sense of purpose. Think about moments when you felt truly alive and fulfilled. That's often a good indicator of what aligns with your core. If your ambitions are disconnected from your true self, they tend to be fleeting or lead to dissatisfaction, no matter how successful they appear externally. By making sure your ambitions mirror your authentic self, you create a solid foundation for consistent motivation and genuine happiness that lasts beyond superficial achievements. Remember, a goal that aligns with your inner values acts as a compass, guiding you through challenges and setbacks without losing sight of what truly matters. To connect your goals with your genuine self, ask yourself some honest questions. What do I value most in life? What activities make me lose track of time? What kind of legacy do I want to leave? These questions aren't meant to be quick checks, but guides toward understanding what really resonates with you. Sometimes, journaling can help clarify your core beliefs and long-term desires. Keep your answers simple and true to yourself. Ignore societal expectations or pressures for a moment. When your goals reflect your authentic interests and principles, every effort feels more natural, less like a forced march, and more like an extension of who you are. Achieving this alignment can take time and introspection, but the payoff is a life where your daily actions reinforce your sense of identity, cultivating a state of fulfillment that is both deep and enduring. Remember that aligning ambitions with your true self isn't a one-time event, but a continuous process of reflection and adjustment. As you grow and evolve, your understanding of yourself will deepen, and so should your goals. Regularly revisiting your core values and checking whether your current pursuits still resonate helps keep your ambitions authentic. It also allows you to course correct if you notice your actions drifting away from your true passions. This ongoing honesty with yourself ensures that your efforts remain meaningful and reinforce your overall sense of purpose. When your goals are genuinely rooted in who you are, setbacks become less discouraging because you recognize the bigger picture. Your progress is a reflection of your authentic journey, not an external scoreboard. Embracing this mindset transforms goal setting from a task into a lifelong practice of authentic living, making every step more rewarding and true to your core identity. Aligning daily actions with your core values isn't about grand gestures. It's about consistency in small choices. The things you do every day, how you handle your time, interact with others, and approach challenges, build the foundation of a life that reflects your principles. To adopt this habit, become more aware of your actions in real time. Notice moments when your behavior aligns with your beliefs and moments when it doesn't. This awareness creates an opportunity to consciously choose actions that reinforce what you stand for. For example, if honesty is a core value, making a habit of speaking truthfully, even in small matters, strengthens your integrity in the long run. Over time, these consistent choices create a sense of inner harmony and confidence, knowing that your daily behavior echoes your deep-seated beliefs. Prioritizing actions that resonate with your principles also involves setting clear boundaries and making intentional decisions. Sometimes, this means saying no to opportunities that conflict with your values or resisting temptations to act out of convenience or social pressure. It's about being deliberate, not reactive. Developing routines that support your core principles, like practicing gratitude, helping others, or maintaining integrity, reinforces your alignment daily. For instance, if compassion is a guiding principle, taking time each day to genuinely listen to others or perform small acts of kindness can solidify that commitment. Keep track of your progress by reflecting on your daily choices, perhaps through journal or meditative exercises, to ensure you're staying true to your beliefs. This discipline turns your core values into a practical blueprint that guides everyday living, transforming ordinary actions into powerful statements of who you are and what you stand for. Finally, recognize that aligning daily actions with your values requires patience and self-compassion. It's normal to slip into old habits or make choices that don't perfectly reflect your principles. When that happens, instead of self-criticism, view it as a moment for learning. Use it as an opportunity to understand why the slip occurred and how to make better choices moving forward. Small, consistent steps often lead to profound change over time. By focusing on the everyday actions, you gradually build a life where your external behaviors mirror your internal beliefs, creating a sense of coherence and authenticity that fuels your growth and fulfillment. Over time, this alignment becomes second nature, turning the pursuit of your dreams into a natural extension of your true self, rather than a constant struggle to stay true in a world full of distractions and pressures. Chapter 3. 3. Discipline and self-control. Mastering willpower for long-term gains. Mastering willpower for long-term gains. Strengthening your willpower often feels like building muscles. You need to put in consistent effort and practice, even when it's uncomfortable. One effective approach is to consciously recognize the triggers that lead you to give in to temptations. For example, if you find yourself reaching for snacks when stressed, becoming aware of this pattern is the first step to overcoming it. Once you're aware, you can develop strategies like replacing the snack with a healthier activity, such as drinking water or taking a short walk. This simple awareness creates a mental barrier that makes it easier to pause before acting impulsively. Another powerful technique is to set small, achievable goals. Rather than attempting to overhaul your entire life overnight, focus on manageable steps that gradually build your self-control. For instance, if you're trying to cut back on social media, start by limiting usage to specific times each day. Each success reinforces your confidence, making it easier to tackle bigger challenges later on. Consistency plays a critical role here. Each small victory compounds over time to create a more resilient inner strength. Implementing routine practices can further bolster your resolve. Tasks like meditation, deep breathing, or journaling help calm your mind and increase self-awareness. When you practice mindfulness regularly, you develop a clearer understanding of your desires and impulses, making it easier to choose rational responses over impulsive ones. Think of these practices as mental gym sessions. They strengthen your capacity to resist temptations when they arise unexpectedly. Over time, these habits become second nature, making your willpower more accessible when you need it most. Using visual cues and reminders can serve as mental anchors reinforcing your resolve. For example, placing notes in visible spots, like on a mirror or computer screen. Reminding you of your goals can help you stay focused. Visual triggers act as constant nudge that remind your subconscious why resisting temptation matters. Additionally, creating a supportive environment by removing tempting items or blocking distracting websites reduces the number of challenges your mind must overcome. When your surroundings support your goals, resisting short-term temptations becomes significantly easier, and your resolve gets a real boost. Building mental resilience is about training your mind to stay steady even when things don't go according to plan. Everyone faces setbacks, but how you respond to them determines your long-term success. Instead of viewing failures as evidence that you're weak, see them as opportunities for learning. For example, if you slip back into old habits, analyze what triggered the relapse and plan to address it differently next time. Cultivating this mindset helps you develop a more forgiving attitude toward yourself, reducing the guilt that often leads to giving up entirely. Resilience also involves maintaining a strong sense of purpose. When your goals are rooted in core values or deeply personal reasons, setbacks become less daunting. Think about why you began your journey in the first place. Whether to improve health, gain confidence, or achieve a financial milestone, and remind yourself of this purpose regularly. Connecting with your deeper motivations fuels perseverance and helps you stay committed, even amid disappointment. This sense of purpose acts as a mental anchor, guiding you through obstacles without losing momentum. Reframing setbacks as temporary and manageable challenges instead of permanent failures is a mental skill worth developing. Adopting a flexible mindset allows you to adapt and find new solutions rather than becoming discouraged. For example, if a diet plan fails one day, instead of abandoning it entirely, you might adjust your strategy or try a different approach. Embracing this flexibility makes persistence easier because you view setbacks as part of the growth process rather than insurmountable barriers. Recognizing that progress isn't linear helps you build resilience and keeps you moving forward. Equally important is cultivating patience and self-compassion. Progress in developing willpower often takes time, and setbacks are natural. Be kind to yourself when things don't go perfectly. Celebrate small wins and acknowledge your efforts, reinforcing your capacity to overcome challenges. This compassionate stance reduces internal resistance and fosters a mindset oriented toward growth rather than perfection. Over time, this unwavering patience transforms setbacks into stepping stones, making long-term goals feel more attainable and less overwhelming. Maintaining focus and motivation is crucial for enduring commitment. Developing mental resilience involves regularly revisiting and reaffirming your goals. Some find it helpful to journal their progress, noting setbacks and breakthroughs, which keeps a record of growth and reinforces perseverance. Sharing your goals with supportive people also enhances accountability and provides encouragement when motivation wanes. Ultimately, resilience becomes a habit. The more you practice bouncing back from difficulties, the stronger your mental fortitude becomes, making it easier to stay on course even when facing adversity. Lastly, small daily practices can significantly boost your resilience. For example, starting each day with a positive affirmation or a brief reflection on your why can set a resilient tone. Keeping a resilience toolkit, like a list of motivating quotes, calming techniques, or success reminders, can be handy in moments of doubt. Remember that resilience is partly about persistence, partly about attitude, and partly about daily choices. Consistently reinforcing these mental habits ensures that setbacks don't derail your journey, but instead become part of a steady process of growth and improvement. Creating routine and habits for success. Creating routine and habits for success. Establishing routines is like laying a solid foundation for a house. It creates stability that supports continuous progress. When you repeat actions regularly, those actions become habits, automatic responses that require less mental effort over time. Consistency is what turns small, deliberate choices into a powerful force that shapes your character and abilities. Think of it as watering a plant daily. At first, growth seems slow, but over time, the plant becomes sturdy and strong. This consistent effort builds momentum, making impressive change not just possible but inevitable. It's easy to underestimate how small daily actions, when performed consistently, can lead to extraordinary results. Every day offers an opportunity to reinforce positive behaviors, turning fleeting motivation into enduring discipline. The secret lies in recognizing that habits are not formed overnight, but through persistent, disciplined repetition, which rewires the brain. For success, transforming habits into powerful tools for growth requires understanding that routines create a structure that guides behavior even when motivation wanes. When routines are embedded into your daily life, they act as the backbone of productivity and resilience. For example, setting a morning routine that includes exercise, journaling, or planning your day can set a positive tone that persists throughout. Over time, these routines develop into habits so ingrained that they become a second nature. This automaticity frees up mental energy for bigger challenges, allowing you to focus on what truly matters without constantly debating each action. Building routines also cultivates discipline, which is essential for staying on track during difficult times. When habits are aligned with your goals, they extend your capacity to face obstacles, turning setbacks into mere bumps in the road rather than insurmountable barriers. The process involves intentional repetition, patience, and a mindset committed to growth. Trust that consistency is a slow but steady path toward mastery. Understanding that routines can be adjusted and personalized is key to making them sustainable and effective. No two people are the same, and rigid routines often lead to burnout or frustration. Instead, embrace flexibility by tailoring your daily habits to your unique circumstances, preferences, and energy levels. For example, if you're more energized in the mornings, schedule your most important tasks then. If evenings work better, craft a routine that helps you wind down productively. Consistent routines don't have to be complex. Even simple acts like drinking a glass of water first thing, making your bed, or dedicating 10 minutes to reading can create a sense of accomplishment. Over time, these small, repeatable actions accumulate, creating a compounding effect that propels you toward your goals. Keep assessing and refining your routines, ensuring they serve your growth rather than hinder it. And remember that mastery comes from persistence more than perfection. Daily rituals serve as intentional practices designed to prime your mind and body for success. Unlike casual habits, rituals carry a sense of purpose and mindfulness, acting as anchors that keep your focus sharp throughout the day. For instance, starting your day with a brief meditation or breathing exercise can clear your mind, reduce stress, and sharpen concentration. Similarly, setting aside specific times for reflection or planning helps you remain organized and committed to your goals, reducing the likelihood of distraction or procrastination. Implementing rituals might feel small initially, but their cumulative effect can be transformative. They create a sense of routine that becomes a trigger for productivity, making it easier to switch into work mode. It's like a signal to your brain. Now is the time to focus and perform at your best. Consistently applying these rituals turns discipline into a habit, making success feel less like a boast and more like a natural outcome of your daily commitment. Practical steps to develop effective rituals include identifying what activities energize or calm you, then weaving them into your daily schedule. For example, many successful individuals begin their mornings with activities like journaling, exercise, or reviewing their goals. These actions don't need to be lengthy but should be meaningful and done with intention. Setting specific routines, such as tackling your most challenging tasks first or practicing gratitude, can also enhance motivation and focus. By creating rituals around your work, health, or personal growth, you ensure a consistency and build momentum. Remember that rituals are not about rigidity, but about creating a reliable framework that guides your behaviors. When you approach daily actions with mindfulness and purpose, you reinforce your discipline and establish habits that support your long-term aspirations. Over time, these rituals become your mental and emotional anchors, grounding you in productivity regardless of external circumstances. Chapter 4. The Art of Discernment and Judgment. Developing critical thinking skills. Developing critical thinking skills. Developing strong critical thinking skills begins with learning how to look at situations with clarity rather than emotion or assumptions. It's about stepping back from immediate reactions and asking yourself, what facts are available? Is there evidence to support one side over another? When you analyze logically, you learn to identify the core components of a problem, separating emotions from facts and recognizing patterns that might not be obvious at first glance. This process requires practice and patience, but over time, it becomes second nature to evaluate situations in a way that is fair and grounded in reason. A good way to start is by questioning your initial impressions. Are they based on solid information or just assumptions? This habit helps to develop an unbiased perspective that allows you to make smarter decisions and avoid costly mistakes rooted in faulty reasoning. To truly analyze effectively, you need to develop a mental toolkit, asking the right questions, examining the evidence, and recognizing logical fallacies or biases that cloud judgment. For example, when faced with a complex problem, avoid jumping to conclusions. Instead, gather data and look for patterns. Consider different angles and perspectives, and challenge your own beliefs by asking, could I be wrong? Or are there other explanations? Doing so trains your mind to approach challenges methodically rather than impulsively. Over time, this habit helps you become more objective, allowing you to see hidden opportunities and risks that others might overlook while reacting emotionally. Remember, clear analysis is about understanding the situation as it truly is, not as you wish it to be, which gives you a solid foundation for making sound choices in all areas of your life. Question everything before jumping into a decision. Our minds tend to accept familiar ideas or assumptions without much thought, often leading us down paths that aren't in our best interest. Developing critical thinking requires actively challenging those assumptions. Are they based on facts or just habits? Once you identify your assumptions, Evaluate whether they still hold water in the current context. It's easy to assume that what worked in the past will always work, but circumstances change, and what was true yesterday might not be today. Before making a major decision, list out your assumptions and test them. Ask yourself what evidence supports each one. This process helps prevent blind spots, like falling into biases or stereotypes that can skew your judgment. Learning how to evaluate outcomes is equally important. Think about possible results of your decisions, both positive and negative, and weigh them carefully. Imagining realistic scenarios allows you to prepare for potential pitfalls and recognize opportunities for growth you might have missed if you relied solely on intuition or surface-level thinking. Regularly questioning your assumptions also involves looking at a bigger picture and considering the long-term effects of your choices. Sometimes, rushing to a decision based on limited information can lead to regrets later. Instead, take a moment to reflect on what might happen after the decision is made. For example, if you're considering a career change, question the assumptions you have about job stability, personal passion, and your skill sets. What if the assumption that a new job will solve all problems isn't true? By evaluating these beliefs critically, you gain clarity about your real motivations and likely outcomes. This approach reduces impulsive errors and leads to more deliberate and strategic decisions. It also improves your resilience. After all, the more you practice questioning assumptions, the more you'll develop a habit of thoughtful evaluation, which can be a game changer in navigating complex life situations effectively. A practical tip is to adopt a simple routine. Before making any decision, pause and ask yourself, what are my assumptions here? Write them down and examine their validity. Use evidence-based reasoning to either confirm or challenge those beliefs. This simple practice helps you develop a mindset that is less reactive and more reflective. Over time, you'll notice your decisions becoming clearer, more aligned with your values, and less prone to errors driven by unexamined assumptions. The key is to remember that every choice has ripple effects, and by taking extra time to evaluate outcomes beforehand, you position yourself for success, growth, and the ability to adapt swiftly when things don't go as planned. Analyzing people and situations, effectively recognizing what drives someone behind their words and actions can transform your relationships, whether personal or professional. People rarely say exactly what they mean or feel, especially when they want to impress, hide vulnerabilities, or manipulate situations. Paying close attention to their body language, tone of voice, and facial expressions provides clues that words might not express. For example, someone claiming to be confident might inadvertently display nervous gestures, like fidgeting or avoiding eye contact, revealing inner doubts. Observing patterns over time helps you differentiate between genuine feelings and superficial responses, which can prevent misunderstandings and open the door for more authentic connections. Understanding motives is like solving a puzzle. Every person has underlying reasons that influence their decisions, whether they are driven by fear, desire for approval, or a need for control. When you learn to spot the motivations, you gain the power to respond more effectively and build trust. For instance, someone might push to be in charge not just out of ambition, but because they crave validation or fear being overlooked. Recognizing these signals enables you to tailor your responses, making conversations more meaningful and interactions more successful. Over time, developing this skill makes you more intuitive about people's intentions, reducing misunderstandings and conflict. One practical way to enhance this ability is to ask open-ended questions that encourage people to reveal their true thoughts and feelings. Instead of simple yes or no queries, try asking, "What's most important to you about this decision?" Or "How do you really feel about what happened?" Their answers, along with their nonverbal cues, will give you insights into their core motivations. Also, becoming aware of your biases helps you interpret behaviors without jumping to conclusions based solely on your assumptions. It's a process that requires patience and practice, but over time, you'll become adept at reading people accurately, which ultimately leads to better relationships and smarter influence. Looking at a situation from only one angle often leads to incomplete solutions. To make sound decisions, you need to evaluate all relevant factors, context, personalities involved, timing, and potential consequences. For example, confronting a colleague aggressively might seem justified if you're upset, but understanding their perspective or underlying pressure can change your approach entirely. Sometimes, a situation that appears straightforward on the surface is complicated behind the scenes, with multiple motivations at play. Taking the time to gather details and see how everything connects helps you avoid impulsive reactions that could worsen the problem. Holistic assessment involves stepping back and asking questions like, what are the underlying issues? How are different parties affected? What are the possible outcomes of each option? By examining the full picture, you can identify patterns that inform your choice. This prevents overlooking important details that could cause unintended consequences or missed opportunities. For example, responding to a heated argument without understanding the emotional stakes or the history behind it might escalate the tension rather than resolve the conflict. Instead, consider the broader dynamics at play, such as relationships, power structures, or unspoken rules, which often influence how circumstances unfold. Practicing holistic assessment can be as simple as pausing before reacting. Take a moment to breathe and review the elements involved. Ask yourself what each person might be feeling and what their goals are. Consider the environment and how external factors like stress, deadlines, or personal issues could be impacting behavior. Making this a habit turns it into a natural part of your decision-making process. As you master this, your ability to navigate complex situations improves dramatically, helping you choose actions that are not only effective in the moment but also sustainable in the long run. Remember, understanding the complete context allows you to craft responses that are more thoughtful, strategic, and ultimately more successful. As a practical tip, create a mental checklist for major decisions or conflicts. This checklist could include questions about the people involved, the environment, possibly outcomes, and the underlying motives you might not see immediately. Over time, this habit helps you develop a more nuanced view of situations, leading to smarter choices that reflect a deep understanding of the broader picture. Keep practicing this approach, and you'll find yourself less reactive and more proactive, turning everyday challenges into opportunities for growth and learning. Making wise decisions under pressure. Making wise decisions under pressure, remaining calm in high-stakes situations, can seem impossible when tension runs high, but developing certain mental techniques can make a significant difference. One effective method is learning to focus on your breath. By taking slow, deep breaths, you can reduce feelings of anxiety and bring your mind back to a centered state. This simple act has a quick calming effect and helps you control your body's stress response, preventing panic from taking over. Practicing mindful breathing regularly builds a habit so that, even under intense pressure, your body recognizes the signals of stress and responds with calmness rather than chaos. Another powerful approach is grounding oneself in the present moment. When faced with pressure, it's easy to become overwhelmed by thoughts of failure or future consequences. Grounding techniques involve paying close attention to your immediate surroundings. For example, noticing the texture of an object in your hand or focusing on the sounds around you can redirect your mind away from escalating anxiety. This mental reset enables you to see the situation more clearly, analyze what's happening without buried emotional reactions, and respond deliberately rather than react impulsively. Practicing these methods increases your resilience in tense moments, transforming reactions of panic into composed decisions. In addition, developing a mental habit of visualization can boost your ability to stay composed. Before approaching high-pressure situations, imagine yourself handling the moment with confidence and ease. Picture the steps you need to take clearly, envision a calm demeanor, and visualize a successful outcome. This mental rehearsal creates a sense of familiarity and reduces fear because your brain perceives the scenario as something you've effectively managed before. Over time, this builds a subconscious confidence that allows you to stay calm, even when circumstances are chaotic. Incorporating these techniques into daily routines gradually trains your mind to stay clear during moments of real stress. When speed is of the essence, making smart decisions involves more than just reacting. It requires a quick but thorough mental process. Strategic thinking in pressure scenarios often means applying a simplified version of a decision-making framework. Start by identifying the key factors at play. What are the immediate risks and benefits? By quickly ranking these factors in order of importance, you create a mental map that guides your choices efficiently. It's about avoiding analysis paralysis caused by overthinking, so training yourself to hone in on what truly matters helps you assess options swiftly and accurately. One practical method is to develop a mental checklist for common situations you encounter. For example, if you're faced with a tough conversation or a sudden crisis at work, asking yourself a quick set of questions. What's the most critical outcome I want? What are the potential consequences of each option? Which choice aligns with my long-term values? Can clarify your thinking on the spot. With practice, these questions become second nature and allow you to analyze complex situations within seconds, leading to more confident and effective decisions in the heat of the moment. Furthermore, adopting a mindset of flexibility ensures you can adapt strategies as new information emerges. Making decisions quickly doesn't mean sticking rigidly to an initial plan if circumstances shift. Being open to reassessing your options and adjusting your course can prevent costly mistakes. You can develop this agility by regularly practicing scenarios where initial assumptions are challenged or where you have to pivot quickly. This mental agility becomes a habit, helping you stay focused on results rather than getting caught up in unnecessary details, so you're prepared to weigh options logically, even under intense pressure. Remember, the goal isn't just to make a quick choice, but to make the right one, given the constraints of the situation. Finally, cultivating confidence in your decision-making abilities can have a calming effect. Trust that your training, experience, and instincts equip you to handle such moments. Reinforcing this belief reduces hesitation, allowing you to act decisively. One way to strengthen your confidence is by reviewing past successes where clear choices led to positive outcomes. Recognizing your ability to make good judgments under pressure will bolster your self-trust, making future rapid decisions feel more natural and less intimidating. Over time, this blend of strategic thinking and trust in yourself becomes an instinct that improves your capacity to excel in tense situations. Chapter 5. 5 EFFECTIVCOMUNICATION and Influence Mastering the Art of Persuasion. Mastering the Art of Persuasion. Mastering persuasion begins with understanding how to communicate your ideas in a way that resonates deeply with your audience. A compelling message isn't just about what you say, but how you frame it. Focus on clarity and relevance, ensuring your words address the core concerns or desires of your listeners. Use language that evokes confidence, trust, and a sense of possibility. Personalize your message by tapping into shared values or experiences. People are more likely to be influenced when they see parts of themselves reflected in what you say. To craft messages that truly sway, consider the structure of your communication. Start with an attention-grabbing hook, an intriguing question, a bold statement, or a compelling fact. Follow with a concise explanation of the benefits or the problem you aim to solve, emphasizing how your idea aligns with the audience's needs. Finish with a clear call to action that guides them toward the next step. Effective persuasion also relies heavily on tone. Speak confidently and authentically, avoiding pressure or overaggression, which can backfire and turn people away. Using persuasive techniques such as social proof, scarcity, and authority can amplify your message. Let's say you're sharing a new product idea. Mentioning partnerships, customer testimonials, or limited-time offers can make your proposition more believable and urgent. Remember, sincerity matters. People can sense when someone is trying too hard or lacks genuine conviction. Practice your messaging, Seek feedback and refine it continuously. The more authentic and aligned your message is with your core values, the more naturally it will influence others. Storytelling remains one of the most powerful tools in persuasion because it creates an emotional connection that facts alone cannot achieve. When you frame your message within a story, you're inviting your audience to see themselves in the scenario, making the information more relatable and memorable. Use real-life examples, personal experiences, or vivid imagery to paint a picture that stirs emotions like hope, empathy, or enthusiasm. For instance, sharing how overcoming a challenge led to a rewarding outcome can inspire similar action in others, especially when it touches their core values. Emotional appeals must be used ethically and thoughtfully. Instead of manipulating feelings, aim to inspire genuine motivation and positive change. You can evoke emotions by highlighting shared struggles, celebrating successes, or painting a vision of a better future. When people feel emotionally connected, they are more likely to align their actions with your message. Keep the storytelling honest, avoid exaggerations, and always respect your audience's intelligence. Remember, an authentic story builds trust far more effectively than mere persuasion through logic alone. Practicing emotional storytelling involves understanding your audience's desires and fears. Think about what motivates them, what obstacles they face, and how your message can speak to those feelings. For example, if you're encouraging healthier habits, sharing a story of someone whose life changed after adopting a simple routine can be both inspiring and convincing. Use a sensory language and vivid details to make stories come alive, helping your audience hear and feel the message. By weaving emotional appeal with honesty and clarity, you can influence others ethically while fostering a sense of connection and purpose. Finally, always remember that persuasion is not about convincing people to do something against their will, but guiding them toward a choice that benefits both parties. Employ storytelling and emotional appeals as tools for inspiration, not coercion. When used ethically, these techniques can foster trust, motivate action, and create lasting impressions. A good way to start practicing this approach is by sharing personal stories that relate to your message. Authenticity is the foundation of influence. The more your stories reflect genuine experiences and intentions, the more others will be inspired to listen and act. Building rapport and trust. Building rapport and trust. Building trust starts with forming real relationships with the people around you. When you genuinely listen and show sincere interest in others, it creates a sense of safety and connection. Empathy involves more than just hearing words. It means truly understanding what someone is feeling and reflecting that understanding back to them. For example, if a friend is sharing their struggles, instead of offering quick advice, you might say, "That sounds really tough. I can see why you're feeling overwhelmed." This simple act of acknowledging their feelings fosters closeness and encourages openness. People notice when others truly care, and that recognition is the foundation of trust. The more you practice empathetic listening, the easier it becomes to connect authentically. Remember, showing empathy isn't about fixing problems, but about validating emotions and letting others know they are understood. When this becomes a habit, relationships deepen naturally and trust begins to grow stronger over time. In addition to listening, demonstrating genuine understanding also means honoring others' perspectives, even when they differ from your own. Avoid rushing to judge or dismiss their feelings. Instead, acknowledge their point of view with respect. Sharing personal stories that relate can also bridge gaps and show vulnerability, which encourages others to do the same. For instance, if someone describes a setback at work, you might share a similar experience of overcoming challenges. This creates a sense of shared experience and makes the interaction more authentic. Building rapport through empathy requires patience and consistency. When you continuously practice these skills, listening without interruption, validating feelings, and sharing relatable stories, you foster an environment where trust can thrive. Such genuine connections cultivate a sense of safety that encourages honesty and openness, which are essential for lasting relationships. Trust is not built overnight. It's earned through consistent actions and unwavering integrity. People notice when your words align with your actions and when you follow through on commitments. If you promise to do something, make it a priority to deliver on that promise. Failing to do so, even once, can create doubt and weaken the bond you are trying to establish. Integrity involves honesty, transparency, and a genuine desire to do right by others. For example, admitting when you don't know something or make a mistake shows humility and builds credibility. Consistency is equally important. Showing up reliably, maintaining a steady attitude, and behaving in a predictable manner make others feel safe. When your actions repeatedly align with your values and promises, people begin to trust you more deeply. This doesn't mean perfection, but rather a commitment to being authentic and dependable in your interactions. Over time, this steady pattern of integrity and consistency helps forge relationships that can withstand challenges and stand the test of time. Maintaining trust also involves setting clear boundaries and being honest about your intentions. When others understand where you stand and see you acting with integrity, they are more likely to open up and trust you. Sometimes, trust is damaged not because of a mistake, but because of inconsistency or perceived dishonesty. Restoring trust then requires sincerity, patience, and a commitment to right your wrongs. People are often forgiving, but only when they see authentic effort. As you develop this reputation for honesty and reliability, your relationships will deepen, and others will feel comfortable sharing their true selves with you. Remember, authentic trust is a two-way street. By demonstrating integrity yourself, you encourage others to act likewise, creating a cycle that strengthens bonds over time. A practical tip for maintaining trust is to be transparent about your intentions and decisions. When you explain your reasoning honestly, it reduces misunderstandings and builds confidence in your character. For example, if you need to shift priorities or decline a request, do so openly rather than avoiding the conversation. This transparency demonstrates respect, and respect fuels trust. By consistently applying these principles, honesty, follow-through, and transparency, you will create relationships founded on genuine respect and reliability. Such relationships tend to be more resilient, providing a strong foundation for personal growth and collaboration in any area of life. Using words to inspire action. Using words to inspire action. Effective communication is the backbone of inspiring action. When you share your ideas, it's crucial to be clear and precise, avoiding confusing jargon or vague statements. Speak in a way that leaves no doubt about what you want to accomplish or the change you seek. Confidence in your voice can turn a simple message into a compelling call to action. When you believe in what you're saying, it naturally encourages others to believe in it. Visualize yourself as a leader who speaks directly from the heart, making others feel connected to your purpose. This connection fuels enthusiasm, making people eager to join your cause or support your goals. Clarity also involves understanding your audience. Think about what they care about, the problems they face, and how your vision offers a solution. Tailoring your message to resonate with their needs turns words into powerful tools for motivation. When explaining your ideas, break complex concepts into easy-to-understand points. Use stories or metaphors to make your message memorable. The more straightforward and relatable your words, the easier it is for others to grasp and commit. Practice helps here. Rehearse what you want to say, ensuring your tone is steady and your delivery exudes genuine confidence. Remember, confidence isn't about being overly assertive or aggressive. It's about convincing others you believe in what you are saying. Maintain good eye contact, stand tall, and use a firm but friendly tone. These nonverbal cues reinforce your message's authenticity. When you combine clear language with confident delivery, you create a magnetic presence that invites others to join your mission. That energy is contagious and can turn a simple idea into a shared movement. Learning how to listen actively while speaking will help you adjust your message on the fly, making it more meaningful and engaging for your audience. To make your message more impactful, ask yourself, what is the one thing I want my audience to remember? Focus on that core idea. Use repetition for emphasis and highlight the benefits of joining your cause. When people see that you are genuine, knowledgeable, and passionate, your words carry weight that inspires action. Never underestimate the power of your voice. Each conversation is a chance to shape perceptions and ignite motivation. If you master the art of clear, confident communication, you will naturally draw others to your vision, turning ideas into movement. Words have incredible power. They can uplift, inspire, and mobilize people like nothing else. When you choose positive language, you shift the atmosphere from one of doubt or hesitation to hope and belief. Instead of focus on what's wrong, highlight what can be improved and what opportunities lie ahead. Frame challenges as chances to grow rather than insurmountable obstacles. When talking about progress, celebrate small wins. This not only fuels confidence but also creates a ripple effect, encouraging others to see possibilities they might have overlooked. Positive words can act like fuel for motivation, energizing your team or community to pursue their goals with renewed vigor. Pay attention to how you phrase your messages. Instead of saying, "This is difficult," consider saying, "This is a challenge we can overcome." Instead of highlighting failures, emphasize lessons learned and future possibilities. When you use language that empowers, you foster a mindset of growth. Recognize and praise others' efforts sincerely. People thrive on appreciation and encouragement. By focusing on strengths rather than weaknesses, you help others see their potential. Using positive language also cultivates resilience. Setbacks become temporary and part of a larger learning process. This shift in tone can turn frustrated individuals into passionate supporters of your cause. Another effective method is to frame your requests in a way that underscores the benefit to others. For example, instead of saying, "You need to do this," try, "By doing this, you will help us create something great." This approach makes people feel their contributions are valuable and meaningful, which increases their motivation. When communicating, aim to instill hope and a sense of possibility. Paint pictures of success by describing how their actions lead to positive change. Over time, consistently using uplifting language can transform the emotional environment around you, making it easier for everyone to rally together and push toward shared goals. The key is in choosing words that inspire faith and foster a collective belief in potential for greatness. Ultimately, integrating positive language into your daily interactions is a habit that pays off. It builds trust and creates a foundation where others feel safe to express ideas and take risks. Remember, words are like seeds. Plant them with care and watch ideas bloom. Whether you're encouraging a team, motivating a friend, or persuading a broader audience, positive language acts as a catalyst for action. It energizes the spirit, empowers individuals to believe in their capacity to contribute, and keeps everyone focused on the possibility of better outcomes. When you speak with optimism, you lay the groundwork for a future rooted in hope and collective achievement. Chapter 6. 6 Buildngledrship and Authority. Leading by example. Leading by example. Leading by example begins with the way you conduct yourself daily. People are more likely to follow someone whose actions align with their words. When you demonstrate integrity, being honest, transparent, and consistent, it creates a foundation of trust that others will want to emulate. Dedication also plays a significant role. Showing commitment to your goals and responsibilities signals that quality and perseverance matter. Remember, actions speak louder than words. And consistent positive behavior sets a clear standard for others to mirror. Small daily choices like punctuality, respectful communication, and accountability reinforce your role as a leader who walks the talk, inspiring others to adopt similar principles in their own lives. Leading by example isn't about being perfect but about being genuine. When you face challenges or make mistakes, admit them openly rather than trying to hide or deflect blame. Doing so demonstrates humility and takes courage, which are key traits in inspiring respect. People appreciate authenticity. They want to see leaders who are relatable and honest. By prioritizing ethical conduct and showing a strong work ethic, you establish a relatable standard for those around you. Over time, your consistent actions cultivate a culture of integrity, where others are motivated not just to follow rules but to develop their own character traits rooted in honesty and dedication. This creates a domino effect, elevating the entire group or team's standards and performance. To truly motivate others, you must become the living embodiment of the qualities you hope to instill. If you want resilience, patience, discipline, or kindness to flourish in your team or community, demonstrate these traits yourself. Being the example of these virtues encourages others to mirror your behavior without feeling coerced. For instance, if you believe in the power of perseverance, show perseverance in your tasks and projects, especially during setbacks. People tend to follow not just directives, but also the energy and attitude of those they respect. When you lead with authenticity and a genuine passion for positive change, others naturally begin to see those qualities as achievable and worth striving toward. Your behavior becomes a template, making your influence more impactful than any speech or instruction. Additionally, embodying the qualities you desire in others fosters a culture of continuous growth. When you consistently demonstrate qualities like empathy, humility, and hard work, it creates an environment where these values are celebrated and practiced collectively. Your actions can inspire individuals to step outside their comfort zones and pursue excellence, knowing they have a role model who practices what they preach. This not only elevates individual performance but often encourages a ripple effect, where others are motivated to develop their own leadership qualities. To reinforce this, periodically reflect on your behavior and ask yourself if your actions genuinely align with the traits you wish to inspire. Leading by example is about being a catalyst of positive change through authentic and consistent behavior. In practice, start small, perhaps by acknowledging your mistakes openly or showing extra care to someone in need. These simple acts become powerful moments that build credibility and trust. Over time, they serve as proof that living your values is possible, reinforcing your role as a leader who leads not just with words but through meaningful action. When others see you consistently practicing what you preach, their confidence in your leadership deepens, turning your influence into a motivating force that encourages everyone to elevate their game. Remember, leadership is less about titles and more about the example you set every day. Lead with integrity and purpose, and inspire others to follow not just your instructions but your example. Motivating and inspiring others inspiring others begins with igniting genuine enthusiasm that spreads naturally. When you demonstrate passion for the shared goals or the work at hand, it becomes contagious. People tend to mirror emotions, so showing excitement about projects, ideas, or visions can spark similar feelings in those around you. Think of a leader who actively shares why they believe in a mission. This clarity and conviction can awaken a similar sense of purpose in others. Remember, enthusiasm isn't about forced cheerfulness. It's about authentic belief in what you're doing. When people see your sincerity, they are more likely to buy into the shared vision, making them feel personally invested in the outcome. To foster genuine passion in your team, start by identifying what truly excites you about your work or purpose. Share stories or examples that illustrate the impact of your efforts, making the work meaningful and relatable. Encouraging openness allows others to express what excites them as well, helping to create a collective energy that fuels motivation. Celebrate small wins publicly, acknowledging effort and progress, which can boost morale and foster a sense of momentum. When people feel their contributions matter, their enthusiasm naturally increases. Additionally, setting challenging yet achievable goals helps keep energy levels high, transforming mundane tasks into opportunities for growth and fulfillment. Passion is a spark that, once lit, can inspire others to see possibilities beyond obstacles, turning ordinary efforts into extraordinary accomplishments. Cultivating an environment where passion flourishes requires constant attention. Lead by example, share your own enthusiasm, show genuine interest in others' ideas, and be open to new approaches. Recognize the unique strengths each person brings to the table and encourage them to pursue projects aligned with their passions. Facilitate conversations that explore what inspires team members, helping everyone see how their individual efforts contribute to a larger purpose. Over time, this creates a culture of enthusiastic participation, where passion becomes the norm rather than the exception. Remember, when enthusiasm is contagious, it lifts everyone, turning a group into a motivated community eager to take on challenges and innovate together. Creating a motivated environment with recognition involves cultivating a culture of honesty and frequent positive feedback. Don't wait for exceptional accomplishments to praise. Acknowledge incremental progress as well. For example, saying, "I appreciate how you tackled that difficult task with such dedication," can be more motivating than generic praise. Similarly, encourage peer recognition. When colleagues appreciate each other, it strengthens bonds and builds collective morale. Simple acts like noting someone's effort in meetings or sending a quick message of thanks can reinforce positive behaviors. It's also important to balance recognition with constructive feedback, guiding improvement without diminishing confidence. When people see their efforts genuinely valued, they develop a sense of belonging and purpose that boosts sustained motivation. Handling conflicts and building consensus transforming conflict into a positive experience often requires patience and self-control. When disagreements occur, focus on maintaining fairness and empathy rather than getting caught up in emotional reactions. Clear communication is essential. Articulate your concerns calmly and listen actively to the other person's point of view. Sometimes, paraphrasing what the other has said can confirm understanding and show genuine interest. If you find yourself responding defensively, take a deep breath and reflect before speaking. This not only prevents escalation but also models maturity and fairness. In cases where resolution seems difficult, consider involving a neutral mediator or taking a step back to reassess the situation. The goal is not to impose your will, but to find a mutually acceptable solution that respects everyone's needs. Keep in mind that conflicts often hold lessons about boundaries, expectations, and communication styles. Embracing this mentality of growth turns potential disputes into valuable learning experiences. To foster mutual benefit, prioritize transparent communication. Being honest about your own needs and limits creates an environment where others feel safe to share theirs as well. When disagreements arise, instead of focusing solely on what you want, aim to understand what will work best for everyone involved. Sometimes, compromises are necessary, but they should be made from a place of fairness and mutual respect rather than pressure or manipulation. For example, if two colleagues disagree on a project direction, guiding the conversation toward shared goals, such as successful project completion or better team cohesion, can help find common ground. Keep in mind that collaboration often involves creativity and flexibility. Be willing to think outside the box and explore alternative solutions that might not have been initially apparent. Building mutual understanding through active listening and collaboration turns conflicts into opportunities for innovation and stronger connections. Remember, the art of resolving conflicts and building consensus is a continuous process. It takes practice, patience, and genuine effort. One practical tip is to schedule regular check-ins with colleagues or friends to discuss ongoing concerns before they escalate. Over time, this habit creates a culture of open communication where differences are addressed early and constructively. Another useful approach is to establish common goals at the outset of any collaboration, so everyone stays focused on shared success rather than individual victories. Ultimately, mastering these skills not only improves your relationships, but also develops qualities like resilience, patience, and empathy, traits that elevate ordinary interactions into opportunities for meaningful growth and extraordinary leadership in every area of life. Chapter 7. 7 Time Management and Productivity. Prioritizing tasks for maximum output. The first step toward getting more done and making meaningful progress is figuring out which tasks truly move you forward. It's easy to get caught up in busy work, small tasks that fill your time but don't add much to your goals. To cut through the noise, think about what activities result in tangible results or big leaps toward your dreams. These are your high-impact activities. For example, if you're building a business, reaching out to potential clients or refining your product might produce far more results than endlessly tweaking your website or responding to non-urgent emails. Recognizing these vital actions requires honest reflection on what actually pushes your needle. Once identified, prioritize these activities to ensure every day's focus aligns with your long-term vision. Remember, it's not just about working hard, it's about working smart, directing energy toward tasks that generate meaningful growth and breakthroughs. This isn't always obvious at first glance. It involves asking tough questions. Which activities generate the highest return on effort? Which tasks align with your core purpose? Which ones create momentum that feeds your bigger goals? Sometimes, high-impact work involves stepping outside the comfort zone, taking calculated risks, or dedicating focused time without interruptions. For example, spending concentrated hours developing a new skill might seem less urgent but can unlock new opportunities down the line. The goal is to differentiate between activities that merely fill your schedule and those that actually accelerate your progress. Making this distinction helps you allocate your limited time and energy wisely, ensuring you are continually climbing toward your most important goals rather than being sidetracked by lesser priorities. Knowing which tasks to focus on is only half the battle. Learning to say no to distractions and lesser priorities is often the real challenge. Many people struggle because they fear missing out or upsetting others. But every yes given to a trivial task is a no to an opportunity that truly advances you. It's about creating boundaries and having clarity on your core priorities. When you're constantly pulled in different directions, your energy gets fractured and progress slows. Saying no is a skill that enhances your ability to protect your time and focus. For instance, declining meetings or projects that don't align with your main objective frees up valuable space for impactful work. It's not about rejecting everything but being deliberate with your commitments, ensuring that every yes is a strategic choice. This practice amplifies your ability to focus on activities that genuinely matter, paving the way for extraordinary results. To develop this skill, start by clearly defining your top priorities. Once you understand what truly matters, compare every new request or task against these priorities. Ask yourself whether it advances your goals or merely fills your schedule. Practice politely turning down invitations, requests, or tasks that don't serve your purpose. Over time, you'll find it easier to guard your energy and time, creating a powerful space for growth and success. Remember, every time you say no to something insignificant, you're buying more freedom to pursue what is vital. Protecting your focus isn't selfish. It's a necessary step to move from mediocrity to the extraordinary. The key to effective prioritization lies in consistent awareness and disciplined decision-making. Keep revisiting your core goals and adjust your commitments accordingly. As your circumstances evolve, your understanding of what's high impact may shift. Regular reflection is essential. Start small by practicing saying no to minor distractions, then gradually take stronger stands on bigger issues. This ongoing process helps reinforce your focus, making it easier to dedicate energy where it counts most. With clear priorities and the courage to turn down less important tasks, you'll unlock full potential of your efforts, making each day a deliberate step toward your biggest aspirations. Eliminating procrastination. Procrastination often feels like a mysterious force, but in reality, it's usually rooted in specific psychological and emotional causes. One common reason is fear. Fear of failure, fear of success, or even fear of what change might mean. When faced with a task that seems overwhelming or uninteresting, our minds tend to find excuses to avoid it. Another cause is lack of clarity. When a goal isn't well defined, it's easier to put things off, because the path forward feels fuzzy or daunting. Moreover, perfectionism plays a role. When the desire to do something flawlessly becomes paralyzing, the tendency to delay doing it altogether increases. Understanding why you delay is crucial because it shapes the strategies you'll use to conquer procrastination. Some people delay out of boredom or because they don't see immediate benefits, leading to a reliance on short-term gratification from less productive activities. Others might struggle with emotional exhaustion or low energy, making it harder to focus on important tasks. Recognizing these root causes allows you to address them directly. For example, if fear is the issue, creating small, manageable steps can help build confidence. If clarity is missing, breaking tasks into clear, specific actions makes them less intimidating. When you identify what triggers your delay, you can tailor your approach to tackle it head-on instead of blindly trying to push through. Developing strategies begins with honest self-assessment. You might keep a journal track when you procrastinate and note what thoughts, feelings, or circumstances error present. This reflection can reveal patterns that might surprise you. Perhaps procrastination spikes when you're tired, anxious, or overwhelmed. Once you understand these triggers, you can design targeted solutions such as setting realistic expectations, creating deadlines, or adjusting your environment to minimize distractions. Building awareness of your personal obstacles lays the foundation for sustainable change, transforming "I can't do it" into "I haven't started yet" or "I'm working on it step by step." Time management tools like time blocking serve as powerful allies in the fight against procrastination. By intentionally scheduling specific hours for particular tasks, you shift from vague intentions to concrete plans. Instead of thinking, "I'll start working tomorrow," you assign a time slot, say, from 2 to 3 p.m. today, to focus solely on that task. This creates a sense of commitment and turns an abstract goal into a tangible activity. When you see your day broken into blocks, it's easier to start because there's a clear beginning and end, reducing the mental clutter of indecision and distraction. Plus, marking down what you intend to do helps keep your priorities visible and prevents procrastination from slowly creeping into idle spaces. Accountability methods build in external motivation and support structures, making it harder to slip back into delay. Sharing your goals with a friend, mentor, or peer creates a sense of obligation that compels you to follow through. Regular check-ins, whether daily or weekly, serve as reminders and sources of encouragement. Using tools like accountability partners or group challenges leverages social pressure in a positive way, making it a shared journey rather than a solitary battle. For example, committing to complete a project by a specific date and sharing updates with someone you trust adds a layer of responsibility that's difficult to ignore. The same methods turn good intentions into firm commitments, helping you stay focused and consistent even when motivation dips. Moreover, integrating rewards into your routine can reinforce positive behavior. When you complete a time block or meet a milestone, treat yourself to a small celebration or a break. This creates a positive association with productivity habits and makes the process more enjoyable. The key is consistency. By sticking to scheduled times and accountability routines, you make progress habitual. Over time, these habits become ingrained, reducing the tendency to put things off and replacing it with a proactive, disciplined approach. Remember, the combination of strategic scheduling and external encouragement makes staying on track more manageable and less burdensome, transforming your fight against procrastination into a series of small, achievable wins. Creating efficient workflows. The foundation of creating efficient workflows begins with how you organize both your tasks and your environment. When everything around you is in its proper place, your mind isn't bogged down by unnecessary clutter, which allows you to focus on what's truly important. Start by listing your tasks, then prioritize them based on urgency and importance. Use tools like planners, digital to-do lists, or simple notebooks to keep track of what needs to be done. Breaking large projects into smaller, manageable parts makes tackling them less daunting and easier to schedule throughout your day. Creating a dedicated workspace free from distractions is equally crucial. Keep your workspace clean, organized, and inspiring. This environment signals your brain that it's time to work. Remove anything that doesn't serve a purpose or bring you closer to your goals. Keep essential tools within arm's reach and eliminate clutter, which can cause mental noise and reduce your focus. Remember, your environment influences your mental state. An orderly space fosters discipline and a mindset geared toward productivity. Another key aspect involves establishing routines. Consistent habits help your brain automatically know what to focus on at specific times, reducing decision fatigue. For example, dedicate certain times of the day strictly for emails, meetings, or creative work. Incorporate alarms or reminders to prompt transitions, so you stay on schedule. When your daily tasks are organized into a predictable pattern, it becomes easier to maintain momentum and avoid wasting time shifting between different types of activities without purpose. Once you've laid the groundwork with well-organized tasks, the next step involves cutting out routine work that eats into your productivity. Automating repetitive tasks can be a game changer. Use technology and tools tailored for this purpose. Email filters, scheduling apps, automatic backups, and reminders help handle mundane activities without manual input. For example, setting up automatic email replies or scheduling social media posts frees you up for higher value work. Automation reduces human error and ensures consistency in your routines, allowing your energy to focus on tasks that demand your unique skills and creativity. Delegation is equally powerful, especially when you're managing a team or working with collaborators. Identify tasks that don't require your direct attention or specific expertise. These could be administrative chores, data entry, or routine research. Find capable people or services who can handle these activities efficiently. When delegating, be clear about expectations, deadlines, and desired outcomes to avoid misunderstandings. This allows you to concentrate on strategic decisions and tasks that directly impact your goals, making your workflow overall more efficient and less stressful. To successfully delegate and automate, start small by assigning minor tasks and gradually scale up. For automation, regularly review your systems to optimize processes further. Consider using project management tools that integrate your automation and delegation efforts into a coherent system. Over time, these practices will become second nature, giving you more free time and mental space to innovate and grow. Remember, working smarter rather than harder is the secret to turning ordinary routines into extraordinary results. As a practical tip, regularly check in on your automation and delegation strategies to identify bottlenecks or tasks that could be further streamlined. Maintain an adaptable mindset. What works today might need tweaking tomorrow as your goals evolve. Consistently refining your workflows ensures that you stay ahead of inefficiencies, turning your daily routines into powerful engines for progress rather than obstacles holding you back. Chapter 8. 8 WLTHCRETION and Financial Wisdom Principles of Smart Investment. Principles of Smart Investment. When it comes to investing wisely, understanding the power of spreading your investments across different assets is one of the smartest strategies you can adopt. Diversification means not putting all your eggs in one basket. Instead, you invest in a mix of stocks, bonds, real estate, or even commodities to balance out risks. If one investment doesn't perform well, others might do better, helping to cushion potential losses. This approach reduces the chance of total financial ruin if the market takes a downturn in a specific area. But diversifying alone isn't enough. Managing risk effectively means knowing how much you're willing to lose and setting clear boundaries. Risk management involves using stop-loss orders, which automatically sell an investment if it dips below a certain price, to prevent large losses. It also involves understanding your investment time horizon, how long you plan to keep your money invested, and adjusting your risk levels accordingly. For short-term goals, safer, more liquid investments make sense, while long-term plants allow more room for risk, as markets tend to recover over time. Timing also plays a crucial role. Getting in or out of investments at the right moment can significantly impact your returns. While timing the market perfectly is nearly impossible, understanding market cycles can help. For instance, investing gradually through dollar-cost averaging lets you buy more shares when prices are low and fewer when prices are high. Keeping an eye on economic indicators, interest rates, and company performances can guide your decisions. Remember, being patient and consistent, even when markets seem volatile, can often outperform trying to chase quick gains. Building wealth isn't about making quick riches overnight. It's about making thoughtful choices and allowing your investments time to grow. It's easy to be tempted by flashy investment schemes promising instant success, but most wealth accumulates through steady, disciplined actions. Educating yourself about different investment options and staying informed about market trends helps you make smarter decisions. Take the time to understand what you're investing in, rather than following hype or rumors, because knowledge develops confidence and reduces impulsive moves. Patience is perhaps the most underrated weapon in your investment toolkit. It takes time for investments to mature, especially with stocks or real estate, which tend to grow gradually. The power of compound interest works best over long periods, turning small, consistent contributions into substantial sums. Setting clear, realistic goals and sticking to your plan, even during downturns, allows your investments to recover and continue growing. Remember, setbacks are normal. What matters is maintaining discipline and trusting the process over the long haul. Another key element in steady wealth building is avoiding knee-jerk reactions to daily market fluctuations. Markets experience ups and downs, often driven by news, politics, or global events, but these short-term movements shouldn't dictate your strategy. Instead, focus on your long-term outlook and stick with your plan. Regularly reviewing your portfolio to ensure it aligns with your goals and risk tolerance keeps you on track. Often, the most successful investors are those who remain calm and avoid making hasty decisions based on fear or greed. In practical terms, setting automatic contributions and reviewing your investments periodically helps maintain consistency and discipline. Managing expenses and savings. Building a solid budget serves as the foundation for taking control of your financial life. It's more than just listing numbers. It's about understanding where your money is going and making sure your spending reflects what really matters to you. Start by tracking all your income sources, whether it's your salary, side gigs, or passive income, and then gather details on every expense, big or small. When you record these details diligently, you'll see patterns emerge that reveal your spending habits. Once you have a clear picture, set specific pillars around your financial goals, saving for a trip, paying off debt, or building an emergency fund, and align your expenses accordingly. Prioritize needs over wants and consider cutting out or reducing discretionary spending that doesn't serve your long-term plans. Creating categories, setting spending limits for each, and regularly reviewing your progress ensure you're staying on track and adjusting as your goals evolve. Remember, all structured budget isn't about deprivation. It's about empowering yourself to make smarter choices that bring you closer to your dreams. Making your budget flexible enough to accommodate unexpected expenses or changes allows you to stay committed without feeling restricted or defeated. Once your budget is in place, the next step is to track your spending regularly, at least once a week, to ensure you're sticking to your plan. Use tools like budgeting apps, spreadsheets, or even simple notebooks, whatever works best for you to keep everything in view. As you monitor your spending, compare it to your initial goals, and note any deviations. This ongoing process helps you identify areas where you might be overspending or where you can redirect funds to more important priorities. Over time, this discipline fosters greater awareness and control, making it easier to adjust your habits and meet your targets. Remember, a budget isn't a one-time setup. It's a living document that guides your financial decision-making. As your circumstances change, say, a salary increase, a new expense, or a shift in goals, your budget should adapt accordingly. The core idea is to foster a mindset of intentionality and accountability, transforming the way you handle money and turning your financial goals from distant dreams into daily realities. Aligning your expenses with your goals requires deliberate planning and discipline. Start with essential expenses like housing, utilities, and groceries, then allocate a portion towards savings and debt repayment. Non-essential expenses can be fun, but only if they fit within your budget and do not jeopardize your broader financial picture. One effective technique is the 50-30-20 rule. Assign roughly 50% of your income to needs, 30% to wants, and at least 20% to savings or debt.